We did everything right, but somehow got everything wrong. We went to college, got our degrees like everybody told us to, and somehow we're still worse off than our parents who dropped out of high school.
I'm over $100,000 in debt because of student loans.
They were able to buy a house 20 years ago for $50,000. And now that same house is worth $500,000. And they say we're lazy. Back in my day, I bought my first house at 22. I was married and had a kid on the way. You also got a good job as a high school dropout. It's not the same nowadays. You have to have a college degree to get somewhat of a decent job. And good luck, even if you do have a college degree, congratulations. Now you got $80,000 in student loan debt. And that communications degree you have, it's about as valuable as a Blockbuster membership.
Student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years have a 17% interest rate.
And your interest on that loan keeps stacking every single month. And that's the worst part. You're not even touching the loan. You're just hitting interest every month. I know a person that's got $143,000 in student loan debt, and they pay $1,000 a month, over $1,000 a month towards their student loans, and they don't even touch the principal payment. They're just paying off interest. That's a hole you'll never get out of. That is prison.
Top number is the amount of loans that I took out to get a bachelor's degree. This number under it is the amount that I owe now. Now, in the time since I graduated, I spent over 10 years of my life as a social worker. I investigated child abuse and worked with teenage mental health. I have spent years serving my community. Now, during that time, I never made, although the work I did was very important, I never made over $15 an hour.
And I feel so sad for these people because they were promised that they went to college and got a good job, they're going to have a good living. And now all of their money comes to paying off interest on student loan debts. You can have 2 jobs, 5 side hustles, and still have to live with a roommate at 29 years old. Our generation's just cooked, Our moms are asking us when we're going to have grandbabies. Like, bitch, I can't even afford to take a woman on a date. What are you talking about? Our parents had one income. Our dad worked and our mom stayed home. You can't do that nowadays. You can't even afford to raise your own kids. And our generation, they love comparing. We got to get off Instagram, guys. That couple you're so jealous of, they hate each other. They haven't had sex in months. His dick probably doesn't even work. He's probably gay. We're comparing our lives to people's highlight reel. It's not real. The guy you see with all the jewelry and the cars, he's up to his eyeballs in debt. That is not a way to live. That girl you see in the Get Ready With Me videos, she had to suck a 90-year-old dude's dick to get that apartment. Don't be jealous of her. Feel bad for her. We're all broke and tired and pretending to be fine. We own nothing and pay for everything. This generation, we don't own anything. We rent our houses. We pay a monthly subscription for everything. Our entertainment, our music, even our therapy is a monthly subscription. It's expensive just to exist. You got a job that you hate and it drains your soul, and you have that job just to pay for things to get you to that job. You work a job that drains your soul just so you can keep affording to keep showing up to that same job. Between car payments and insurance and gas, the average person spends $1,000 just to drive on these roads. And where are we driving to? To get to work. You can't walk into a Publix or any grocery store without spending $100. You'll have 2 bags. It'll be $100. How is this affordable? It's not sustainable. Everyone's overweight. Everyone's fat because the cheapest food is often the most unhealthy. In what time in history has the poorest people been the fattest? There's something that's got to change. Over half of Gen Z says they have poor mental health or anxiety. 42% says they've been diagnosed with a mental health illness. We're the most anxious and over-medicated generation in history. I'm talking like 20 to 30-year-olds. We're popping pills just to not feel anything, We're popping pills. We're stressed out. And I'm not saying don't get help, but you're not depressed. You're trapped. It's your body screaming at you, telling you it doesn't like what you're doing to it. Your body's screaming that you need to change something. You don't need another pill. You need purpose, a plan, maybe some sunlight. Go outside, touch some grass, be a human being. We don't have to. Everybody's so depressed nowadays. And I feel like depression isn't real. I think most people are depressed because they had this vision in their life when they were younger. But by the time they're 25, they're going to be millionaires and billionaires and have all these cool things. But no, you're living at home with your mom and you have $12 in your bank account. That's why you're depressed. Not because you're a depressed person. Your life is depressing, and it's up to you to figure out how to change it. We've all been trained to accept that misery is just a part of adulthood and life sucks. You're not supposed to live like that. And now AI just made it worse. You thought going to college and getting this degree is gonna be good for you. Now your degree is useless. It's just a piece of paper hanging on a wall. And they told us, don't worry about the debt. You'll get a good job. You'll pay it off. Now you're working for a dental office making Instagram posts for $19 an hour. You were lied to, and there's no way of getting out of it. We're not lazy. I don't think we're a lazy generation of people. I think it's just the race we're running, the finish line keeps getting pushed back further and further. But hey, we got our iced coffee and avocado toast, because AI is coming. That degree that you paid $100,000 for, that's accrued interest every month. You'll never be able to pay it off. So we're just going to have a generation full of debt. They'll never be able to afford a house, never be able to have kids. So we're just going to have all these highly educated non-families. This is going to be this weird. It's going to be very strange.